Welcome. This module and the following modules will introduce you to COBIT 5, ISACA's new governance framework. What will we see in the description of this course? Therefore, an introduction. It's COBIT 5 just came out in 2012, late 2012. We'll talk about the key reasons ISACA updated this framework. We'll talk about the 5 basic principles that are involved in the COBIT 5 framework. We'll talk about the 7 enablers of governance and management. And finally, we'll talk about updated goals cascade and how to implement COBIT 5, and we'll touch on that new COBIT Assessment Program. By taking this course, you'll be able to know why ISACA created and updated COBIT 5. You'll learn a bit of the history of COBIT 5, and you'll know what the big differences are in this version of it. You'll be able to see how IT management issues have an impact on your company and other companies. You'll be able to see and discuss that, how we can look at aligning IT management and making sure that we focus IT along with the management roles and goals of an organization. You'll be able to explain the key differences between what this management thing is and what our governance is. And you'll see that ISACA has clearly focused in COBIT 5. Governance is a new aspect, and in fact it's a whole domain of its own. You'll also know something about the COBIT 5 Enabler Guide. The Enabler Guide teaches us all about what the COBIT 5 things are that will help ensure that when we implement COBIT that it works well, including the goals cascade. The goals cascade is a critical component of COBIT. It helps us focus our efforts. It helps us understand how, from a stakeholder, we can get down to the processes of COBIT and understand the relationships all the way through the business. And you'll be able to discuss the key parts of the implementation program. You'll find that ISACA has developed a 7-step circular program, and that's going to guide you and help you implement this great framework. Finally, you'll know how the COBIT Assessment Program works. You'll see that we're moving away from the CMMI approach of maturity assessments into capability assessments, and you'll find out what the differences are between those. There's no prerequisites for this course. Anyone can take it. So welcome again. Obviously, registered trademarks. COBIT is a trademark of ISACA, registered throughout the United States and other countries. In 2013, used with permission. So the module topics then, what are the big picture items of COBIT? What are the things that have changed? What are the things we could use to help benefit us? What's brand new to COBIT? What's the principle 1 of COBIT? The stakeholder need. And then the other principles, principle 3 and 4. And we might touch on all 5 principles. The principle 4, enabler dimensions, well, that's an important principle. So I like principle 4 because it speaks to those things that might help you actually make governance work better in your organization. We'll also go through how to use COBIT in your organization and how to implement the pieces of COBIT that would benefit you the best. We'll learn all about pain points and challenges. Pain points and triggers are the word. In other words, we could use COBIT to help us fix things. We can use COBIT to help us improve our business. Just depends on your focus, what you want COBIT to do for you. And the COBIT Assessment Program. You might want to know where you are currently from a governance perspective, how well your current processes are running. Well, this assessment program is designed to give you a strict, fairly structured way of assessing the capability of what you've got in place. And that's the process assessment. And we're going to go through that. When you look at COBIT and how COBIT 5 has changed, there's a big change, because in COBIT 4 you went to ISACA, you took COBIT course and you got a certificate and you moved on. In COBIT 5, ISACA's partnered with APMG, a training and certification company. And so it's a bit more structured now. And the first and foremost course after this one, if you choose to learn more about COBIT, would be the COBIT 5 Foundation course. You can find more details on the GoGo site. Following a foundation, if you decided to move even further down the path of COBIT 5, there'll be a new line that will teach you how to implement COBIT 5. So all the course materials, another course, another exam to take, another certification to get. But you may not be interested in just implementing. Perhaps you're just more interested in using the capability assessment. And so you could follow that path as well. Or, of course, you could do both. So capability assessment process, we're going to find, as we already finding, because that's now out and available, each of these, all three of these courses can be taken in due course, following that from foundation to either implementation or assessment. But if you do take assessment, you could choose to take it a little, get a better grade, do some additional items, and become a certified assessor. There's a lot of materials to download available on the GoGo site under your materials tab, a student guide that'll show you all the things and the steps you might take. There's some quizzes and exercises for you to follow. There's a training plan. So how might you look to work out so that you know where you're heading and making sure you're getting the best bang out of the course? The COBIT 5 framework document, all the COBIT 5 materials for this course, a sort of high-level introduction, and that more important COBIT Foundation course that you could get a certificate for, rely on the COBIT 5 framework document from ISACA. And there's some sample exams. You know, if you want to take exams, you can't take enough test questions to get a good feel for what's coming up. Of course, the course syllabus will also be there. So what the expectations, what the steps will be in taking the course. So let's get started with this course and move into the next module. Thanks very much.